Mr. Gardner, you keep touting your ranking as being the third most bipartisan senator, which is based on how many bills you've co-sponsored with Democrats. But your voting record shows you've backed the president nearly 90% of the time, according to the website 538. How do you square those two?
Because I vote 100% of the time with the people of Colorado. Let's talk about some of those successes that I've had for the state. I've brought the Bureau of Land Management headquarters opened up right here in Colorado. I've opened up U.S. Space Command in Colorado Springs. I just passed the Great American Outdoors Act, which has been identified by the Nature Conservancy as the most significant conservation accomplishment in over 50 years, a bill they described as the holy grail of conservation. I led the funding and legislation to complete the Aurora VA Hospital, to create a 988 suicide prevention hotline, a bill that will save lives right here in Colorado. Every single one of them took bipartisan support. Every single one of them was about us bringing Republicans and Democrats together, not as a byproduct, but to begin it from the very beginning, to convince President Trump that we needed to pass the Great American Outdoors Act. That's what we did. That's bipartisanship. Now, what you hear from John is he's not even going to support a Republican-led relief effort because apparently the Republicans control the Senate and he doesn't think it was good enough, even though it contains the very things he wants.
Well, Senator, really quickly, do you believe that 100% of Coloradans support 90% of President Trump's agenda?
Look, I'm going to support Colorado. I'm going to vote with Colorado every single time, and I believe that's what I have done, and that's what I will continue to do. You know, John Hickenlooper actually called the Great American Outdoors Act meaningless. He called the 988 suicide prevention bill meaningless. He said the bills that Gardner has passed are mostly meaningless. The 988 bill that's going to save lives is meaningless. The Great American Outdoors Act that's going to put thousands of Coloradans to work is meaningless. Look, John is convinced that this race is about him. You can't trust John Hickenlooper because while he was in Colorado, he took money from the taxpayers to pay for his own law.